Star Wars and Lucasfilm officially support calling all white people prejudiced against non-whites. What? Hello and welcome to The Ordeal. Please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do really appreciate you stopping by and supporting all of my creative endeavors on YouTube. And please be aware that you might have been unsubscribed. If you are a regular subscriber, check to make sure you're still subscribed. Let's get into this really crazy article here and see what it has to say. The official Star Wars Twitter account has thrown their support behind new hire Krystina Arielle and her declaration that all white people are prejudiced against non-whites. Earlier today, Bounding Into Comics reported on a number of tweets that Arielle and new host of the Star Wars High Republic show, where she called out all white people as prejudiced against non-whites. Here's just a few of those tweets. In March 2020, she wrote,
"White people, stop it. Your racism won't save you. Your ignorance is not an excuse." So I had my first breathing while Asian moment, went out for groceries, and an older masked white woman passing by the line shouted "F you" at me for no apparent reason. As I stared at her, she pulled off her mask, coughed directly at me, turned on her heel, and walked off.
Well, does this say all white people? No, but I mean, it doesn't say, hey, racist white people. It just says white people. So the implication is it is all white people that she's talking about. What is this? And she's calling them prejudiced against non-whites. So, and then we have an example of such a situation happening here. Look, I've been discriminated against based on the color of my skin by people who are not white. I've been threatened. I've been yelled at. I've been cursed at. What else? I mean, I've been passed over for jobs and promotions because I'm not the right gender or the right skin color for these things. In May 2020, she wrote,
"White conservatives, please stop invoking anti-white prejudice like you give a S. You don't. You just want to be able to say, what about, when someone calls out 45 and his blatant prejudice."
Scott Baio replied, "Hey, why is it okay for Joe Biden to say something clearly prejudiced, but Roseanne gets kicked off her own show that you are a writer on for making a mistake? Is it because you're full of S? Hack liberal?" Yes. You can see that this is immoral immediately as soon as if you were to change this from white conservatives to black conservatives. And if it sounds like it's a terrible thing to say, then hey, you know what? It's a terrible thing to say, period. So don't say it. On June 2020, she wrote,
"Just a reminder that white women are just as complicit in the upholding and enforcing of white supremacy."
Yeah. There's no white supremacy. You're talking about a country that was founded by white people for white people and is still majority white. If I go to Africa, am I going to have the ability to function the way that I am in the United States? Or is there going to be a lot more prejudice against me? Is it going to be a lot more difficult for me to get anywhere in that because I don't understand the culture, I don't understand the people, etc. Kaylee McEnany said Trump's description of the coronavirus as Kung Flu was linking it to its place of origin. The term has been described as prejudiced and offensive to Asian Americans, with Kellyanne Conway previously calling it highly offensive. Honey, you know the COVID-19? Did you know that Trump called it Kung Flu?
Trump?
Yeah, he called it Kung Flu at one point.
Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Kung Fu like...
Yeah, only flu instead of foo. Does that offend you?
Huh?
Does it offend you?
No.
Is it funny?
Yes.
Okay then. Now that we've established what Asian people think about the term Kung Flu, we can move on with our life. Also in June 2020, she wrote,
"I don't have an ego. I'm also not a bully. I have said repeatedly, I don't owe white people a conversation about prejudice. I've been living with it. They've been doling it out. I am not entering a conversation where people are intent on not understanding me."
We understand you perfectly. And if you think that you're not being understood, well, why don't you take the time to clarify your points? Let me know in the comments. Go down in the comments. Let me know. Am I being clear when I'm making these points? Is there wriggle room in what I'm telling you? The fact of the matter is, these people like her, these anti-white prejudiced people, they are not going to be happy unless and until white people are enslaved. The least amount you could do is if you're a white person. You go to them and say, I deserve to be enslaved because of what my ancestors did to your ancestors, because they invented the system of slavery. I'm so very sorry. That is the very least you have to do in order to get in the good graces of these people. And none of that is true. You shouldn't be sorry for what your ancestors did. You're not your ancestors. And white people did not invent slavery based on skin color. That was done by people who were not white. Let me see here. Krystina Arielle tells Star Wars fans not to purchase the High Republic. Don't purchase any Star Wars stuff. I've been saying this for years. Stay away from Disney. I was mad at Disney before, but as soon as they released The Force Awakens, I was like, do not give Disney any of your money. Stay away from them. Do not give them money. Don't give them any of your money. Don't sign up for Disney Plus. Don't sign up for Hulu. I used to be a big supporter of Hulu. Guess what happened when Disney got their hands on it? Hulu started charging me. It was like $8 a month or something, $7 a month. I'm like, what? No. This was free before. I had to watch commercials. That's what was paying for this. All of a sudden, Disney has to put a little bit more money in their executives' pockets. Oh yeah, we gotta charge people. We can charge people for this. And now it's like $15 a month or something for Hulu. No. I don't need to give you any money. You already have enough of my money. The official Star Wars Twitter account has now come out in support of Arielle's comments, declaring white people as prejudiced. Oh, so Star Wars Twitter account says that her tweets are what they want to support. Okay, great. But don't give them any money. The account wrote, our Star Wars community is one of hope and inclusivity. We do not stand for bullying and prejudice. We support Krystina Arielle. Oh, how is this inclusive? You're telling me that I'm no good because I'm white. How is this inclusive? I don't go around yelling at people and coughing on them because they're a different race from me. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? But there are insane people in the world. You never know that old woman that yelled at Mr. Wang up here. I saw this tweet up here. Mr. Wang. Oh, sorry, Yang. Mr. Yang. No disrespect on your name, Mr. Yang. I didn't mean to mispronounce it. This woman could have been crazy. You don't know. You know, I've had to deal with crazy people. There was a lady when I was living in LA. There was a lady that lived near me. She would walk down the street from her job, and she would stop and have full-on conversations with the trees. Like, she would just stop and be like, like tilting her head, like the trees are actually talking back to her, and she's listening, and then she would respond. So there are crazy people in the world, yeah. And I mean, I hope this lady gets whatever help she needs. This older lady that coughed on Mr. Yang. Our Star Wars community is of hope and inclusivity. Wow. But it's not. You're not including me. You don't want me there. What do you make of Star Wars officially coming out and openly declaring they believe that all whites are prejudiced? Wow. So, are there comments down here? Oh yeah, there are comments. If they weren't already, they are now. They make a compelling case for needing to pick a side. I think it is time to start rooting for the Empire now. Yeah. I won't support anything she's involved in with money. Money talks. Exactly. Money talks. Don't give your money to Disney. Stop giving your money to Disney. It's going to be hard to do because they have their hands in everything. But you stop giving your money to Disney, and hey, they're going to start noticing, and they're going to be like, okay, wait a second, what do we got to do here? And they'll try some other insidious way of getting your money. Don't worry, it's not going to be cut and dry. They're going to go, oh, well, the people are protesting by not giving us any money. No, they're just going to find other avenues to gain your money. I thought labeling a whole group of people, any group of people, is only something that evil people like Hitler did. Disney, you are helping me to save money. Thank you so much. Yeah, this guy gets it. Don't give them your money. There's a related article here. See, bounding into comics targeted for false report campaign in retaliation for report on anti-white prejudice of Star Wars. The High Republic host Krystina Arielle. In response to bounding into comics report on the prejudiced Twitter history of newly announced Star Wars High Republic host Krystina Arielle, numerous critics have attempted to baselessly discredit the site's evidence-supported reporting, falsely accusing staff of publishing fake information and calling for the site itself to be deplatformed. It wasn't fake information. That's what she said. What are you talking about? That's the tweet. On January 22nd, Binding into Comics published an article titled newly announced Star Wars Yahweh, wherein site editor-in-chief John Trent cited a number of tweets previously published by Arielle, in which the actress expressed various anti-white beliefs and ideas. Shortly after the article was published, it was shared on Twitter by political commentator Jack Posobiec, where after it was brought to the widespread attention of both his supporters and his critics. Taking note of Posobiec's tweet, World of Warcraft Shadowlands novel author Madeline Rowe, who herself has a history of anti-white tweets, adamantly refuted Bounding into Comics headline stating, "No, she didn't." Okay.
No, she didn't. Second, this is the same Gamergate textbook horse S they've pulled on me and countless others. Learn the pattern, folks. They have exactly one move.
She said that white people are prejudiced against non-whites. She didn't specify that there are some. She didn't specify that, hey, people needed to not be prejudiced against each other. She pointed out one group of people, and she said they're evil, and these people want to enslave this entire group. They want to enslave whites. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what they want to do. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're pushing for. They have to have a boogeyman. They have to have an enemy, and that enemy is the white people. And you here, look, Madeline Rowe, you look like you're blonde hair. That's whiter than me. That's whiter than me. Look at the avatar. That's whiter than me. And do you think they're going to treat you kindly when they enslave the white people? If they get their way, this minority of people who are prejudiced against whites, you think that they're going to treat you with kindness when you're enslaved? They're not. With the story brought to the added attention of Rowe's audience, Binding into Comics was soon bombarded with accusations that the article's headline was patently false, as critics claimed Arielle had never stated that all white people.
Go ahead and block Bounding into Comics if you haven't already, wrote the third Joe. They're the ones trying to hate on Krystina Arielle for daring to say.
This guy is an idiot. She didn't say that. She said that white people are bad. That's the thing. She didn't say that prejudice is bad. She said that white people are bad. But these people believe that white people are the only ones who can be prejudiced. So these people are just so ignorant of the way the world actually works. Twitter user Megastraws took issue with the fact that a white dude literally wrote the article and asserted that Arielle was simply holding whites accountable for their prejudice. She was not holding these individual whites who are prejudiced, but she didn't specify. So you can read into that all. And they've said, how many times have they said that white people are the only one who can hold this type of prejudice? White people are the only ones who can be prejudiced this way. And then they're going on and using it as if it doesn't mean the same thing that they keep saying that it means.
Not the first time I've seen someone do this to a black person. The fact it's from Bounding into Comics, of all things, is no surprise. A white dude literally wrote the article. He doesn't like that she's holding prejudiced whites accountable.
Yeah, so these people are all like supporting her, thinking that she's wonderful. Wow, she has like...
No, I'm tired of the narrative just being shifted to she's a SE pet owner. She's an effing prejudiced person. I promise you. White people will know every breed of dog and can't tell two black people apart.
I don't know very many breeds of dog. Yeah. This is just...
Shut down Bounding into Comics. Bombard their comment section. Report the harassers and tweeters that are spreading this S. Shut it down.
Leona Neelam Maple, you're not a good person.
If everyone could go ahead and report Bounding into Comics for targeting harassment and being prejudiced piece of crap, that'd be dope. Krystina Arielle deserves so much better.
Yeah, you are... She doesn't deserve anything. She's clearly prejudiced against white people, and all these people are supporting it. We have comments down here. Saying no, I'm not is a perfectly good explanation and should be accepted honestly. Yep. No, I'm not. I'm not that way. Well, prove it. Why are you saying these things? NPCs belong in video games, not real life. Yep. She didn't use this specific phrase word for word, therefore she didn't say it. It's too absolutely nobodies surprise these people trust Snopes. Don't believe your lying eyes. Only believe what I tell you to believe. Again, only something a fascist ruler will tell you. Yeah. These people are saying, hey, look, you don't understand what she said. You should listen to what she says now, and she'll explain it to you. Sometimes people do misspeak and make mistakes. And maybe she did misspeak. Maybe she really did mean, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be overly inclusive or over exaggerate this. There are people who are prejudiced, and I don't want to see this happen with anyone. And but she shouldn't have put whites in there. She should have said all prejudiced people should just stop. Anyway, you get the idea. Boycott Disney. Stay away from this stuff. Stay away from Star Wars. All these companies that are against whites. It's not inclusive. It's prejudice, and it needs to stop. So, again, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.